Good afternoon, top of the afternoon to you. You're tuning into the live YouTube broadcast of Past Generation Lost in the Mix Affected by Sight, hosted by none other than yours, evangelist missionary Dr. Katrina M. Sanders from the Redeemed Fellowship Outreach Ministry, Church of God in Christ, where the founder and pastor is Pastor Robert R. Sanders II. Oh, I tell you, I had to talk about this topic today. Oh my God. You all see a picture that says those who can teach. That's my specialty. And I stand behind what I teach. I want to talk about just for the few minutes about women not moving on with their lives and how they hurt their children's future by the things that they do. Many of you all that tune into my live radio blog talk broadcast know that I have a passion for what children are listening to, are become involved in when it comes to adults. There are a lot of adults that have been married or divorced or both. They've been single or widowed. You know, there's no more after that. Single, married, widowed, divorced. Pretty much children are always involved, especially in marriage. In my former marriage to the police officer, which you heard me talk about yesterday when I was talking about how the Chicago Police Department is under fire right now, of how it affected the children. And what happens is that when you have families that are not together, there are children, whether they come from the married couple or whether the couples already had children, or if the couple's divorced and decided to go create another family elsewhere and established another relationship which brought on a child. I'm learning and have learned, even in my own family, that families can be the most messiest people that you ever see walk the face of this planet. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what happened. But I do know that a lot of children get misconstrued and get caught up into adults. Now, I'm going to share this. I don't have a problem of sharing experiences. Experience versus your business is two different things. But I don't mind, because I was a part of a family in the church, and they became real evil to each other after one of the relatives had passed, and from that point on it caused a great division. When I was in high school, of course my mom and dad, this is for those who are in counseling as well. So those of you all who are taking counseling, who are taking marriage family therapy, you can use this as a part of my experience, and I will give you my email address in case you want to ask questions for your paper, for your assignment, for those who are part of the counseling program or ministry counseling program. But when I graduated top 10 of my class. I invited, of course, my mother and my grandmother. I'm the only child from my parents. And I want my dad to come. Now, my dad and my mom were separated. My mom got upset with me because she didn't want my dad coming. She told me that your dad didn't give me $10 of child support for you. He don't need to be here. Blah, 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 yada, yada. So by the same token, I said, well, what does it have to do with me graduating from high school? This is a special moment for me. She got angry. So what she did was she told my grandmother, and of course my grandmother told her sisters, Hansel and Gretel, not to come because I invited my father. So for that moment, I did not have anyone at my high school graduation. So because of my mother's upset. Now, my thing is, although you all are separated, why are you putting me in a position to choose? And a lot of young people, children, grow up into families where the mother will force you to take her side or the father will force you to take his side. Sometimes it's better to stay neutral, because in my experience, I watched how my mom carried out. I watched how my mom responded. I watched how and what my mom did. I was very disappointed during that time, because that was a teenage moment for a child, is to have both of their parents come to the graduation. Now, understand, you have different things that happen, and my father wasn't working. It wasn't like he had inspection or something like that he, didn't know about and he found out about it. Nothing like that. She didn't want him there. So as a teenager, I just stayed out of it. I went and enjoyed myself at graduation, and I went on to mind my business as if nothing ever happened, because that's the kind of pill they're on. Now, when parents are going through a divorce, it takes a lot of toll on a child, because now the child is forced to be poor from two areas of family, dad and mom. They're going to end up probably finding somebody else. They're going to probably end up getting married to somebody else. How do I accept the other person? How do I accept the other person? Well, this is what I did. What I did was I stayed out of their conflict problem, because they were not going to have a resolution to the problem. And then by the same token, my mom still had her life going. My dad still had his life going. What I don't like to see, and this is what I am targeting, is that even if you have a child by a man or children, you just had a child by that man, does not entitle you to wife benefits, wife duties, wife position. You were just somebody a man dated, had a bunch of kids by, or a child, does not entitle you to the highest amount of benefits. So I'm learning that in counseling, there are a lot of families that need it, because the children become stagnated between what's going on with the parent and what's going on with the kind of relationship. And then you got the in-laws who have not been married to the person, jump in with their 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, their theory and their perspective, and it messes the child up real bad. When you look at it, you have a problem going on, and when you have a problem going on, you are not able to do what you need to do in order to help that child. So with that child being in trouble, they basically cannot help themselves. When you sit up and you have a child that is caught between two parents, and either whether they're married or divorced or separated, that child is dealing with a lot of problems. That child is dealing with being choicy because they see the mother there, but the father is not there. There's a reason why the father is not there. There's a reason. The reason being, it could be a lot of stuff. And it could be that the mother was tripping in the relationship before you were born. The mother could have trapped the man into getting pregnant so she can have a piece of her hand in your life for the rest of your life. That's what some women do. There are some women who play devilish games, demonic games, because even though this man don't want me, I'm going to be in his life, so I'm going to get into my hormones and I'm going to nail him down and trap him down with a baby so I always have a part of his life. That's what some women will do. Women, you can get mad at me, but you know it's the truth. I know a bunch of them. I got a laundry list of names. So the thing about it is that men, you have to be careful. Then that child becomes angry with the father because everybody, the mama, and then the mama all of a sudden want to be in contact with the sisters, and the sisters all of a sudden want to hear her sob story. Don't want to know the truth, but hear the sob story. So you hate your family member because of their own personal stuff that really had nothing to do with the child. Then the child is brought into all of this, and now the child don't like the father. Then the child want to snap up at the wife, the new wife, when the new wife wasn't even nowhere around. This is the kind of stuff that goes on in families. But the children get caught up. And then the child is forced to believe what the parent says that they live with versus the other parent. Instead of you getting their side of the story, you're too busy focusing on what they said. And that's the truth. This is the problem. Now, children, young teenagers, if you have parents that are divorced or they have never been married, don't get into nothing about what went on in the relationship if you are not ready to handle the truth. And that's real talk. Unless you are ready for the truth, you don't need to apply yourself in it. It's too emotional and it's too much drama because one adult is going to tell you what they want because I've been here. I'm going to show you that I'm here. But also, why the other parent ain't there. there is a reason. If you're prepared to take the reasoning, then you got to be prepared to take the truth. But understand, the parents are going to always have their problems. And your theory of what it should be is not going to always be what it is. And that's where you have to understand the line is drawn. The line is drawn. So families, when they come together, there's constant arguing, there's constant fighting, there's constant bickering, and then the people that just come into another person's life, they catch all the hell there is and don't know what is going on. I know it from experience. I promise you. Women, if the relationship did not work between you and the father, whether he was your husband or just somebody you were sleeping with, let it go. Let it go. Because what you have done is that you have contaminated that child's mind and spirit against the other parent. And let me give you a clue here, because your behind will die and that parent is still living, and they're going to be mad because now you dead and they only got one parent left that's there. My father has issues and situations. I wasn't born from a drug addicted family. Let me make that clear, because you got some parents, kids that are born from parents who were doing cocaine and crack and all that. Parents tend to wait till they have their kids and later on get on stuff for different reasons. We don't know why folks turn to drugs. And I don't think they turn to drugs because it tastes good or feel good. There are other issues they don't know how to get. A lot of times they don't want to seek counselors like me or anybody else because they don't want nobody to judge them. We don't judge. Counselors and therapists do not judge. They do not judge. They do not judge. They do not judge. They listen to your story. They help you navigate through the situation so you can be better. Now, the problem is when a child becomes involved, when they reach a certain age and they have taken in all of the talk from the relatives and extended families, although they're legally not binded to you by law, these things here, now you start drawing your own conclusion based on their theories. Then when your theory is based, your theory, believe it or not, is wrong. It's called stinking thinking. You made a judgment decision based on what you have heard. But you didn't hear the other party. Our judicial system doesn't work that way. You've got to hear both sides. It's never one-sided. It's both stories. I had to tell my children that about their father. Their father was an adulterer and a fornicator, and he was an abuser, both mentally and emotionally. And I didn't tell them until later on in life. They then started finding out, and their father fessed up and said, yeah, I cheated on your mama. That time they got certain age, they had to take it. But there are certain things that you try to do to protect your children from that, because you don't want them to be all messed up in the head, and then they can't go to school thinking clearly because of some foolishness that took place between two parents. But you also have a medial factor, because there's always a basic medium for things to happen. And when it happens, you need to understand where it's coming from. And if you have a basic foundation that started the problem, this is the end result, which is very dangerous. Women, when you have children by a man, and you was just a girlfriend and he would not honor to marry you for whatever reason, wasn't in love with you, he didn't want to get tied up with that, understand marriage ain't gonna keep no babies, I promise you. I don't care how many times you marry anybody, it's not going to keep them. If both people are not on the same page, that marriage won't work. And somebody will either end up dead or get killed out of the relationship. Then you got to simply explain how did the person die and how did they get killed. Because somebody going to snap. Somebody is going to snap. And when they snap, they're going to hurt you. You don't stay in a relationship. Women, if a man don't want you, he just don't want you. Jesus. Y'all try to make a man stay. Let him go before he kills you. Or you kill him. You can't make no man love you, and don't sit up and tankerize your child's mind against that other parent, whether it be the woman or whether it be the man, because now they will hate the other parent based off of what you give, and that's called poison. It's called poison. Don't be a coward. And I will make him stay with me. And then go around telling his brothers and sisters who you don't even know, and he didn't marry you, what your feelings are. And because they don't like him, I'm going to jump on a bandwagon. And all you siblings, stay out of folk business. Get you someplace to find yourself something to do and mind your own business. You don't have not a clue what went on. All you hear is one side of the story. Don't know Jew from Joe. And you sitting up with your 2 cents and somebody else's 5 cents trying to make 20 cents. This is how these young people get screwed up. If there's a touchy situation, it ain't for you, brother, sister, aunties, uncles, to get up in the business. Mind your business. If you take 6 months to do something and 6 months to put it into action, that's a whole year of you minding your own business and ain't bother nobody else's. That's the problem. And then extended children that may have an issue, you need to not get in it because you don't know what happened. Mind your business. Leave it alone. Some things are not worth dealing with. It ain't your jurisdiction. It's not you don't have a dog in this fight. You're not God. You didn't die for anybody. If your mama and your daddy had children by other people, you need to stay out of it because you don't know what went down. Later on in life, if both parents feel to tell you what happened, then so be it. If they don't, leave it alone. You don't know what was going on, but you all up in it. And then young people, when your parents start to doing that, you need to stop and think for yourself and use your mind. Your parents are to teach you what you need to be taught at the age that you are. What is doable for your mind, not for what they want your mind to be. Your mind is gullible to receive good, bad, ugly, positive, hurtful things. It can do that. But when it comes to adult matters, stay out of it. Because it's going to be one thing about it. The truth prevails. I watched how my mother did. And I watched my mother's behavior. I watched everything she did. What I did, I removed myself from her situation and got on my own. And I asked my father, what's your side of the story? I'm older now. You can tell me what's going on. I'm not glass. I'm not going to break. And he told me, hey, well, this is what happened. And so she's dead now. But I said, okay. But I know what I live with. So I know that what I live with, she was not perfect. And young people stop thinking their parents are always perfect. They lie too. They come up, tell stories, films, all kind of stuff. Stop thinking, oh, my mother is perfect or my dad. No, they lie. Come on now. Get your head out the gutter and stop being gullible and stupid. Understand. You need to understand how adults do. And adults, you should be careful what you do and say around your children. That's what you need to do. I could teach this thing. Because when it comes down to, I have a lot of students I work with, a lot of folks that I work with, confidential wise. And they get tired. And then I see it in my own family and my own in-laws, just as batty as don't know what. You won't face the issue that you need to be facing up to. And the person that you should be dealing with, you ain't dealing with. But then you turn around and want to start a fight with somebody else. But understand, everybody ain't gonna take your whoopings. Cause some folks, I'm telling you, you can't go around picking on anybody you want to because you think you can. Nowadays, people elevator is not going past 2, and it ain't going to the basement, and it ain't even opening. You need to watch yourself when you dealing with folks and you throwing out all type of accusations and saying stuff when all you doing is ptomaine poison the mind of a child to hate somebody that you are too, I would say, punkish enough not to deal with. Because that's where a lot of families act like cowards and punks. They do a lot of talking, but they don't come to your face and say nothing. I will. I'm serious. You make saved folks not get saved, won't stay saved. They be want to knock the crap out of you, so knock you all the way over to Jerusalem and hope you stay there in the city of Sodom and don't come back. But women, let those men go. Do what you got to do for your child. Make sure that child get the best education so they would know how to be able to survive in this world. Stop causing friction between those children and the other parent. Whether if the father got the kids or the mother got the kids, stop doing that. Because you are going to be held accountable for that when you get ready to die. God is going to put that on your charge. Let that child make his or her mind up to decide who is right or wrong. And if it's too confusing to them, they know how to go find counseling. And some of them just leave it alone because it's like, I don't even want to deal with it. And they'll let it go and live their life. But you still holding on to your life. And if you was once married to a man, and then you're remarried, you need to mind your business with the husband that you got before you lose that husband. Because you too busy worried about what the ex-husband doing. And then you putting your 2 cents into your ex-husband affairs with somebody that wasn't even around when you all were married or divorced, and you all up in that business. Ex-wives, stay in your place. Stay in your place because you into another area that does not involve you. You are being in somebody else's business. And people nowadays will shoot you. I promise you they will. Stay in your place. Stay in your lane, man, your business. Understand, this is why a lot of children go to school with so much and then they grow up. Well, my mama told me, or my dad, all of that stuff, it does nothing but damage that child's mind. And then the child is so jacked up in the head, they can't tell an ice cream cone from a popsicle. Because of you. You the problem. And I'm going to tell you something. One thing about it, especially in the church, I don't like silly women. You can go around trying, I'm saved all day. You're a liar. Because if you keep it up mess with your ex-husband and you got a husband, you got a problem. And your husband that you got now may be dumb and slow, but you still got a thing for the ex-husband because you're too busy worried about his stuff. Woo! Hello, somebody. Listen, I just wanted to share that with you all. And I come on every now and then. For those of you all who are counselors or counseling students, or need counseling, you can email me at drkatrinasanders@gmail.com. Don't call, don't email me with no foolishness. I'm a professional, so I come a different way. Don't come in my area with all kind of gibberish. I'm trying to help these young people and these women who have had children and they cannot move on. You need to move your life forward. I was married before. I moved my life on. When he left my family, I was gone. I promise you. Went back to school, got my degree, earned a degree, worked 2 or 3 jobs, took care of my children. I can talk about that. But when I hear and see different people going through different things and they have problems and it's peep their head up in my little haystack in the barnyard, I'm going to talk about it. It's to help each other. We've got to learn how to leave each other alone when it comes to certain things that does not involve us. If you're not trying to reach the lost at any cost, if you're not trying to help the needy, feed those who are homeless and hungry and need clothes, then you have nothing else to do with your time. As I previously stated, if you got 6 months to do something, activate another 6 months. It's a whole year to mind your own business. And that's all you got to do. And if you hurt those children or that child, by keeping confusion up, then you need to go back to that child and say, I'm sorry. I should not have enforced you to tell, and then try to hold your child hostage because when you at my house, you got to believe what I say. No, that child does not have to believe what you say. You don't blackmail a child to believe what you say because you have a problem with the father. And that's real talk. Don't hold a child hostage. If you don't believe what I say, get out and stay with him. That child may end up going. It's as simple as that. So understand, women, move on with your life. Stop holding on to something that didn't happen for you. If you got a man, love your man. If you got a husband, love your husband. But stay out of your ex's business. Because it don't involve you. You putting yourself in a whole different area and you're not saved when you're too busy yet committing adultery with the ex in your mind because you're worried about him. That's what you're doing. It's sad, but it's the truth. So until next time, as I said, if you have any questions, and I mean serious questions, do not blog on my thing here because I will delete you. If you want to talk, it's private. It's kept confidential. If you want me to talk about some things, I would be more than happy to do that because it's a counseling show as well as a religious program. Dr. Katrina Sanders, DrKatrinaSanders @gmail.com. Until next time, you be blessed.